Okay then. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, Subhashini, Sham, Akhilesh, Komalpreet, Nanda, Manoj, Rishikesh, Utpal. How are you guys? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Drex. Good evening, Utpal. How are you, buddy? Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Am I visible? Can you guys please confirm that? So, good evening. Hi, Sarma. Good evening. Hi, Ganesh. Good evening, buddy. Okay, that's great. That's great. So, yep, guys, once again, good evening, and I welcome you all to day 8 of this Node.js masterclass. And this is the last day of this masterclass, and today we are going to build a really cool API. So, you might have seen apps like MyFitnessPal or Healthify Me, right? Where you go ahead, create your account, right? Then you can search for some food, and then you can mention how much you have eaten, right? And then the calories, the protein, the carbohydrates, they are all calculated, and you can see the whole data for that day. Surely we are not going to be making the design, because design part will come later on when we learn React. But today we are going to be building an API which will do the exact same thing, which will basically serve all the data that we need. So our API will be able to create an account for a user, then user can log in, user can search for a food product, he can mention what exactly he or she has eaten, and then a calculation will be there of how much protein he has got, how much carbohydrate he has got, all that stuff. So guys, it's basically a API, like not exactly like, because MyFitnessPal and Healthify Me, they are a very big apps, but at some point of time they were also small, they were also giving us some basic idea. Now they are quite a big apps, so we're not building the exact thing, but at least all the fundamental thing. What is the fundamental of MyFitnessPal? What exactly is the fundamental of Healthify Me? They simply help you track your macros, right? They help you track your macros, they help you track your food, they help you track your diet. That's what we are building today. Not the basic portions, the fundamental ones, Utpal. The fundamental ones. Yeah, not providing coaching, because see, now they also provide coaching, they provide diet plans and all that. But the fundamental ones. Is that clear? Not the basic ones, the fundamental ones. Because basic means like, the smaller ones. The fundamental ones. What these apps are built on a really important fundamental, that they help you to track your nutrition, your calories. That's what we're going to be building. Now in future, you can evolve this app, you can evolve this API, start including diet plans and all that stuff, but that can come on slowly, right? In today's 2 hour or 2.5 hours, whatever we use, in that time, we'll be creating an API which will serve for creation of a new account, login, then searching for a food item, then after that, seeing how much calories and how much protein, fiber, all that particular food item provides. Then I can simply add that food item into my daily intake, and I can also see at the end how much I have eaten today, or how much I ate yesterday, or how much I ate day before yesterday, all that stuff. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, are you getting the point? Have you guys used a health nutrition tracker app? Right? You should use it, because it's a very good thing to use apps like that to track our macronutrients, how much we are eating and all that stuff. But no issues. Let's go. Let's build that, because nowadays it is very important. That's why I've chosen such a API where you can also gain some information about these things as well. Okay. So guys, are we excited? Are we ready for this particular app, everyone? Please tell me. And if you're excited, please don't forget to like this session as well. And if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay. So guys, let's go. Ready? So first of all, again guys, we'll start from complete scratch, and we'll also be learning some new things today. So far we have built around 2 APIs, one from complete scratch using the HTTP module. Then we built an API using Express, right? Yesterday we learned about authentication and authorization. Today we'll be using all of this combined, but in a different architecture. Now see guys, so far we were handling promises using then and catch. Today, we'll be handling promises using async and await. Simple idea. So guys, if you're confused between then catch and async and await, don't worry. They are simply 2 ways of handling promises. Async and await makes your code look a little more simpler and easier. But again, guys, if you're confused, please do watch my asynchronous JavaScript session. There I have cleared everything. Okay, but again, it will be very easy, so don't worry. It will be very, very easy. So I hope, guys, you're excited. Please let me know that in the chat. Are you guys excited for today's session, everyone? Okay. So let's go, let's start. And guys, a lot of things we're going to be learning today, so don't worry. Let's go. Await is synchronous. Await makes your asynchronous code behave like a synchronous, but at the end, overall, that whole function is asynchronous. You can say, Akhilesh. So await doesn't make your code completely synchronous. It just makes that set of code to behave in a certain way, but the whole function is still asynchronous. Okay, Akhilesh. So await doesn't make it synchronous directly. Okay. So guys, let's go. So first of all, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a folder for this project. So guys, think of a name. What should we name it? What should we name it? So, something like, okay, let me just simply call this something like, Nutrify, something like that. Again, sounds good, right? Nutrify. Any random name is fine. So, yep, let's go. Hi, Mayuresh. How are you, buddy? Thank you for joining the channel. Okay. So let's go, guys. I'm calling this app as Nutrify, this folder. Let's drag it into our VS Code and let's do all the basic setup. And guys, also, please confirm. I hope you guys are enjoying this course so far, as today is the last day. But don't worry, in future, if I plan, I'll also coming up with advanced Node.js session where I'll be teaching you about streams and pipes and how to perform a video streaming from backend to frontend, all that stuff as well. This was the all fundamental API development. In future, I'll be teaching you streaming, how to do video streaming and all that stuff as well. But again, let's go and let's start. So first thing is the basic setup. So let's do it quickly. So guys, first of all, simple idea. We are starting with a new JavaScript project. So basic idea is to perform npm init, right? And let me zoom it if you can't see. So yeah, package name Nutrify, all good, no issues. Version 1.0.0, description nothing. Entry point yes, index.js. No repository, no keywords. I'll put as... Guys, if you're building a proper project, in that case, you might have to do all this stuff, okay? But right now, I'm not focusing on this much because our focus is development. But in the future, when we, learn some advanced things, then at that time, we'll talk about this and how to deploy it, how to connect a proper Git repository, all that stuff. Node.js versus React.js, one pro king. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. Think of it like a compiler of JavaScript. So it's a running environment of JavaScript. React is a front-end library. It's a library which helps you to build UIs using JavaScript. So React.js is a front-end library. Node.js is a JavaScript running environment. So that's the difference. And that's it, guys. Yes, all set. You got your package.json. Now, let's quickly go ahead and install all the things. So guys, we need Express. Then we need Mongoose. Then we need Bcrypt.js for encryption of password. Yesterday we learned all that, right? And then we also need what? JSON Web Token to perform token authentications. Right, guys? So let's go. Let's go. Ads has started. Don't forget us after. First of all, there's nothing called as famous. It's normal. I'm always going to be like this. Don't worry about that. And Akib, don't worry. I'm never going to be forgetting you. You are my first super chat. I know that. So don't worry. Never forgetting you. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Okay. So guys, install all the packages. npm install. First thing we need is Express for creating our API endpoints. Then we need Mongoose to connect to the database. Then we need Bcrypt.js so that we can encrypt our password. Space, then we need what, guys? JSON Web Token. So these are the 4 packages that we need right now. Okay, so that we can create our API completely. Done. Now it will take a little more time because we are installing 4 packages at once. So let it take its time. Okay, almost done. And done. Okay. So now, guys, if you open your package.json, you can see all the 4 packages that you have here. Bcrypt.js, Express, Web Token, and Mongoose as well. All set. Let's go now. Sir, please come with DSA. Yeah, definitely, buddy. Definitely. I'm planning for that. Definitely. Okay. So now, guys, what's next, everyone? Let's create a simple file, index.js, in which our basic setup will be there, like database connection, basic modules. So let's go. Everyone, let's start. And guys, today, I'm also going to be showing you how to modularize your project, right? Like till now, we have created all the projects in a single file. Today, I'll be showing you, because we're going to be having many endpoints, how to divide your project into multiple files. So I'll be showing you that as well. Okay, so we'll do clean code. Basically, we'll divide your file so that our code can be easily readable and understandable. Okay, so we'll be touching some of the clean code practices and doing that as well. Okay, so a lot of things here today. So first of all, let's do the basic thing. Guys, I also hope that you guys remember yesterday's authentication and authorization lecture, because that is the first thing I'm going to be doing. And I hope no one will have any confusion in that, hopefully. Don't worry, I'll be still explaining you that, but I hope that you guys remember everything from yesterday, because yesterday we learned how to do authentication, authorization, and I hope it is still fresh in your mind. So yeah, let's go. First of all, Express. Cool. All set. Then we need to, take Mongoose. So let's call it as Mongoose. And then we need, okay, right now we'll not install what, okay, let's take bcrypt.js. Why not? We need it actually. So bcrypt.js, and we'll simply call it as, something like, okay, fine. Let's just call it as bcrypt. That's it. Okay, and let's also take the token one. That's fine. So required to const. Let's call it as JSON web token. Like the package name is JSON web token. But here we can call it whatever we want. It's the variable, so let's call it JWT. Okay, all set, guys. All the first packages are here, and now the first thing that we need is we need to do the database connection. Ready, guys? Everyone, I hope everyone remembers. So again, I'm going to be opening Compass, and today I'll be creating a new database for our app. Okay, so let's go. A new database, and let's call it as Nutrify. And one single collection that will be here is definitely users, because we want users to sign up and log in. So definitely we need a collection where we can store our users. Right, everyone? So done. All set. So guys, we have a users collection here, and the database name is Nutrify. Let's do the basic connection. So here we go. Database connection. Okay, basic comment. I'm not doing very amazing comments here, just some basic comments. Okay, so mongoose.connect URL will be mongodb:// localhost, as our database server is also a local server, port number is 27017. Okay, sir, will you deploy the API today? Let's see, guys. Let's see how much time we have, Nikhil. Okay, mostly I'm planning for it, but let's see, because it's a big project. So we'll cover that project, and if we don't get time, don't worry, I'll plan out one more session where I'll be teaching you how to deploy your API for free. Don't worry about that. Okay, so let's see how much time we take. If we don't get time, I'll plan out just one more session where I'll show you how to deploy the API. Don't worry, maybe on Monday, hopefully. Okay, so guys, the address of our database server / which database, what's our database name, everyone? Let's confirm that. It's Nutrify. So let's go. Nutrify. Okay, and then it returns a promise. So guys, see, one more thing, remember this. Okay, in this case, let's not do it, we'll do it in the other parts. For now, okay, handle the promise using then and catch. In this case, guys, I'm handling the promise using then and catch. In the future stuff, I'll handle my promises using async and await. Okay, in this case, let's keep it simple. Will you create a project with refresh token? Definitely, tester. Definitely. As this was the beginner's course, so I'm not doing all that bigger stuff here directly. Okay, but we are learning all the fundamentals of Node.js and API creation. But when I come up with advanced API fundamentals, in that case, we can go for refresh tokens and streaming and all that stuff as well. Okay. So guys, if everything is fine, so we know that connect function returns a promise. And if the promise is resolved, that means if everything was fine, then function will be called. And we can simply have a log for now. Console.log database connection successful, something like that. Okay, all set. And if the promise was rejected, that means some issue happened while connection, you can get an error in this callback. Hopefully now it is all cleared. I'm still explaining, but I hope it is all cleared, because I think we are doing it for the 3rd time in this whole course. So hopefully, so print the error, and that's it, guys. This will set up our database connection. Leave that. Hi Vasu, how are you, buddy? Okay, basic setup done, guys. Now, before moving on to the schema and all that stuff, let's also create our Express object. Okay, so that we can start creating the basic endpoints. So const app equals Express. Okay, object is created, and after this, guys, creating and starting the server. For that, we have a listen function. So 8000, the port number, you can choose anything in the limited range. Okay, and a callback function which is called if the server is perfectly up and running. So we'll have it for confirmation. So console.log, just a simple message, server is up and running. That's all. Okay, So guys, let's run this program so that we can see if we are getting these two messages. If we are getting it, that means everything is running perfectly fine. And we'll be running it using nodemon. So nodemon index.js. And that's it. You can see it's working. And don't worry guys, I'm getting an update that is nodemon's new version is available. Don't worry, I'll install it afterwards. It's okay. Okay. So guys, basic setup done. Okay. One more thing I would like to teach you guys here is, see, there is a general way of starting a JS project as well. Like in this case, I'm using a command called as nodemon and running my file. Now some people might use a different tool to run your file. So if you want to create a general command, like you don't want anyone to depend on remembering what voucher or what tool you're using to run the program, you can also create a general command. So what you can do is, you can go in your package.json, okay, and go in the script section, okay. So there is no test command as of now, that's why it's there. You can also remove it, this line, because I don't have any testing command right now, but I'll keep it, it's fine. I'm gonna add one more command. So comma. So I want my command to be named as start. Again guys, you can name it anything, but try to always name it start because that is the general idea we follow in JavaScript development. And then here, mention the command that you want to run if someone calls start. So I know that my project is dependent on nodemon. So I'm gonna put a command nodemon index.js. Okay, simple idea. Now, the case is that you don't have to tell people that, you have to run nodemon. If you have mentioned this command, people will just run npm start. As soon as you call this command will be called, and internally this command will run. But the people don't have to worry about nodemon and all that stuff. So now you might be using any tool, just mention your specific command here. But people just have to remember that they have to call start. So that's how React works, right? People install React application and they just call npm start and the project starts working. Internally something might be happening, but you just run npm start for easiness. So a single command. So that's it, npm start. If you press enter, see, internally it still runs nodemon index.js, but people don't have to know. They can just run a single command called as npm start. That's what we generally do in a JS project. We always put a command like this. So it doesn't matter which tool you're using. You mention that as an internal command. People just have to run npm start. Is that clear, guys? So I'm just showing you one basic script that we have added. We have added one command, custom command in our project, that is npm start. Is that clear, guys? All set? Akhilesh is asking, what is the meaning of refresh token? See, sometimes, Akhilesh, on websites, you might have seen, like in our case, we generate tokens, right? We generate tokens. When someone logs in, we generate a token on the API and send it back. Now, sometimes people might, come back after some time, okay? And at that time also, they might try to use their old token. But that old token you don't want to use because that old token might have been compromised or copied by someone. So when they send the old token, you send them back a new token so that they can use that from now on. So that is what you call as a refresh token. That's the general idea. I'm not going in very deep, but that's what you call it as. Okay, so sometimes you keep your old token with you and you think that I'll also use it 1 month afterwards. So at that time, if you send it, the server identifies, okay, this was my token, but now it's very old. It might have been compromised. So let's send a new token to the user. And that is what we call as refresh token. So without asking the user to log in again, you just read the old token and send a new token. So from now, please use this. It's this token, I don't want to use it because it is very old. So that's what we call as a refresh token. That's the general idea. Okay, cool, guys. Setup done. And everything is working fine. Yeah, you can choose a validity. By default, our tokens are forever. Right now, whatever tokens we are generating, they are forever. But you can also set up an expiry date. Right? It should be expired in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 days, 20 days, something like that. So you can put a valid time for that. Okay? Okay, guys, so we are set. Now then, let's start creating the basic endpoints. So guys, see, I'm going to mention it somewhere. What are the endpoints I am going to be creating? Okay. So I'm going to be creating one register endpoint for user. Then a login endpoint. So I'm just mentioning register and login. Okay. So register, then login, then a search food by name endpoint, one endpoint for this functionality. Then, what we can have is add food or simply a track food. So that will be done by user. Track food for me, something like that. Track food for me. And then show my eaten foods, or show what I've eaten, or show my tracked foods, something like that. Okay. So these are the 5 basic endpoints that we need in this project. This will complete our project. First, user will register, then he will log in. After login, he can search a food by name, because mostly we search food by name, like chicken curry or dal tadka or rice or whatever it is. Okay. Then if I am comfortable with that food and if I've eaten it, I'll ask the server, track this food for me. And I've eaten this quantity. Okay, I've eaten 200 grams, 300 grams, something like that. And then afterwards, either I can add a new food again, or I can see how much I have eaten. So show my tracked foods. So guys, these are the 5 main endpoints that we need. And don't worry, if you have not used any app like this, don't worry. I'm going to be showing you a few examples as well. I don't know if website is available for that, where you can log in. But see, it's basically something like this. See. So you want to track your diet, you go ahead on some app and search for nutritional value of, let's say I ate around 2 cups of rice. So 2 cups of rice. So you basically give this information, right, everyone? See? So amount 2 cup is basically roughly 316 grams. Then it tells you total fat was 0.8 gram, cholesterol this, sodium this. Main things are this: carbohydrates 90 gram, fiber 1.2, protein 8.6. So you have eaten this, say you have a button, track it for me. When you click on track, this food will be stored as your diet for today. Then I can mention other foods. And at the end, I can see a proper result of how much I have eaten, how much total carbohydrates I have eaten, how much total protein I have eaten. So basically to see, is my diet goal completed? Have I eaten 100 grams of protein? Have I eaten this much grams of carbohydrate? Something like that. Are you guys getting the idea what I'm trying to create here, everyone? Got the idea? Hopefully. So this is only giving me the info, but we'll also be having option of tracking. So guys, again, we won't have a front end right now. Don't worry. We will create a front end of for this project only when we learn React. Okay. Today we are only focusing on the API. So it might not look that great because anything with UI looks very great. Okay. But we'll be using this one. We'll be just creating the API. Then after 1 week, when we move on to React, we'll create the front end for this as one. Okay. So let's go. So 5 endpoints. Let's start with the first one, the register endpoint. Okay. Let's go. So guys, yesterday we created a registration endpoint. Similar to this, we'll go ahead. The first thing that we need is a schema. Now, again. Okay, guys. So let's call it as user schema. But guys, before we move on to schema, I would like to show you something. Okay. I would like to show you something very, very important. Okay. So I'm today showing you how to create your own module. Now see guys, we have already used some modules like these 4. They are also modules. What's a module? On the first day we discussed that a module is nothing but a collection of functionalities which you can import in your code and then you can use those functions. Right, everyone? That's what it is. Correct? So a module is simply a collection of functionalities which you can import in your code and use those functionalities. Now we know that in our single file, sometimes we have a lot of code. So now what we can do is we can create separate files where we can keep some functionalities, and whenever we need those things, those functions, we can simply import them. We don't want to make our file look very big. So let me show you what I'm doing. Okay. So today I'm going to do something. So first of all, let me show you how module works. Okay. Let me show you. So for that, let me just, comment this part. See, simply a module is simply, it can be a file or collection of files. So in this case, I'm creating a file. Let's call it as demo.js. Okay. So let's say I have this function or I have this variable. So let a equals 23, something like this. Now I want to use this value of a in this file. So how can I use this a? So let me show you. What you have to do is, you have to do this. Very simple. Just, it's an inbuilt in Node.js module property. So module dot exports equals A. That's it. That's what you have to do. That means now this file is exporting this A. So if anyone imports this file in their code, if anyone requires this file in their code, they can use this A now. Let me show you how. So guys, now what you have to do is, you have to go here and require, and now here you have to pass your file name, but with a proper path. So it's in the same folder, so dot slash, and my file name is demo. No need to mention .js. Node.js knows that it will be a JS file only. So no need to mention that. So now guys, whatever that file is exporting, all of that will be coming in this object. So let me call it as demo. So right now this file is exporting a A. So that thing is coming in this demo. So now let me show you. If I do console.log demo. See, I have an option available. Okay, it's not available. Maybe I'm making a mistake here. It should be working. Let's test it, hopefully. Okay, wait. I'm only exporting one thing. I'm really sorry. Just demo. That's it. Whatever you're exporting, that is directly coming in this demo. So let me show you. See, you should have 23 here. So whatever you export from here, guys, that directly comes in this particular object. So I'm exporting A, which is 23. So that 23 is directly coming in this demo. So I can see when I printed demo, I'm getting 23. Now, A is not the only thing you can export. You can export an object as well. For example, my A can be an object like name, Saurabh, age 26. So now if you export A, you're exporting this whole object. So that means you're passing this whole object into this demo variable. So now if you print demo, see what's printing? The whole object. And you can access demo.name and see Saurabh. So it's simple idea, guys. Whatever you're exporting, that thing is simply directly going in this variable. So this demo, think of it like this. Somewhere this is happening. Demo equals A. That's it. So whatever is A, that is demo. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, are you getting the idea? That's what is happening. Here it is exporting variable A. What we want to export? Whole file. Whole file. You never export whole file. You can export multiple things from a file. You're exporting whole file only. Exactly. So now guys, see. Now let's say you have multiple things. Like, what if you want to export multiple things? Like, what if? So let's say I have multiple things here. So let A, and I also have let B. And let's say B is a simple variable like 45. Now I have two things. So if you want both these things to be available on the other file, what you can do is simply pass module.exports, pass the object notation, object literal, and just pass A comma B. That's it. So now you're exporting A and B both. So now this A and B both are going in this demo. So you can see you can access demo.A or B. So if you access demo.A, you're getting that whole object which is inside A, which was this one. And if you access demo.B, you get whatever B is having, like 45. So guys, you're now exporting two things, A and B both. So either you can export one thing or you can also export multiple things. Just put an object literal and pass multiple things. Whatever you have, A, B, C, D, just pass separated by comma, and all those things will be available here. So now this both A and B are going in this demo, and then you can access it simply by putting demo.A or demo.B. Are you getting the idea, everyone? That's how it works. Exactly, Akhilesh. Require is just like import. Similar. They are all similar. So guys, got the idea? And you can export anything, guys. You can also export a function. So let f equals, let's say it's a function, do something. And actually, you don't even have to put an f. You can directly pass the function. So console.log just a function. So function already has a name, right? Do something. So just pass it here. Do something. And that's it. So now you're exporting three things. A, B, and this function as well. So now that demo is having three things in it. So demo basically becomes an object. So guys, whatever you export, see right now you're exporting an object. So that object is going here. So demo is becoming an object. So whatever you're exporting, so simply think somewhere this is happening. Demo equals all these three things. So that's why you can export, you can use demo.a, demo.b, and demo.do something. Is that clear, guys? No, Suraj, not exactly similar to env file, but yeah, almost something like that. You prepare your data here and you can use it. So yeah, something like that, but have different purposes. So guys, got the idea, everyone? Understood? You can create anything here and just export, and you can use it in another file. So you can use it to divide your code properly, so that you don't have to code everything in a single file. Is that clear, guys, everyone? So whatever you're exporting, that will go in the other file. Understood? So that's how you can create your own module. So now, guys, this is the JS file, but this is a module. Whenever you're exporting something, it becomes a module. If you're exporting something, it becomes a module. Export whatever you want. An object, a simple data, a function, an array, whatever you literally want, you can export it. Understood, guys? Everyone, hopefully, nothing confusing here, nothing tough. Okay? So now, guys, what we want to do is, let's remove all these things. Now let me show what I'm planning to do here. Okay? So, remove all this stuff. Remove this file. So let's delete this file from here. Exactly. So now, I'm not planning to create my schema here. What I'm planning is, see, I am going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name it as models. Okay? So basically, why I'm naming it as models? Because we are going to be creating our models here. What are models, guys? We know, right? In Node.js, model is nothing but an object which helps you connect to the collection. So I am going to be creating all my schema and models in this folder separately. Okay? So let's say now, it is for users. So I am going to create a file called as user model.js. And the schema and model related to the user, I'm going to create in this file. And guys, if you want to create schema, you also need Mongoose module. So you also have to import Mongoose module here, like this. Okay, and now let's create a schema. So basically, I'm just separating my code. That's all. I am just separating my code, guys. That's it. So const, and other things are completely same. So const, let's call it as user schema. Okay, mongoose dot schema, and then simply let's say now whatever you want, the properties. So name, I'm gonna give it as type of string, and then simply what required, simple required true, and just like that, name. Then we can have a email for username, and then we can have a password, and then we can have a age. That can be it. Okay, other validations you can provide completely. So type, wait, let me just switch to live chat because I can't see few chats. Okay, so type will be number, and let's also say that minimum, so min should be at least 1. Okay, so that no one puts age as 0, or maybe let's say minimum should be 12, because before 12 I don't want you to track your diet. Okay, so guys, schema is done, everyone. Understood? Schema is done. Now let me show you what I'm trying to do here. See, done with the schema, and now let's create the model. So const user model equals mongoose dot model, and here mention the collection. So what's my collection name? Users. So users, and then schema which I want to follow is going to be user schema. And now guys, from here I'm going to be doing this mongoose, sorry, not mongoose, module dot exports this user model. So basically we know that in here, in the endpoints, if I want to create something or delete something or update something, I need to use this user model. What I simply did is, instead of creating the schema and model in this file only, I created them separately, and now I know that I need this model to be used in other files. So I simply exported it so that I can import it here now. So const user model equals require and the file name. So dot slash models slash user model. And that's it, guys. So now this object, which is the model object, is directly coming in this variable. So they will work exactly same and I can still use it. So that's it. Either I create this whole thing here and then I use the model object, or I create the whole thing here, export the model object, and now get it in this variable and then use it. Got the idea, guys? What we are doing here? Understood? So now our code will look less messy. Understood, everyone? Here we can put an option like importing models, something like that. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, can you please confirm that? Exactly, you can say it like that. Yes, Akhilesh. So guys, see, normally what we do, we create this whole thing, schema and model, just to give you idea, here, like this, right? We have seen it till now. We create our schema here, we create our model here, and then we go in our endpoints and use this model to create stuff, to perform creation, updation, deletion, all that stuff. Now what I did is, instead of doing that, I created it separately. I exported the model from there because that is the only object I need. I don't need the schema because schema is already getting used here. I only need this model object. So I exported that object and I imported it here. Okay. From that, whatever is getting exported, import it, and it is getting stored in here. And that's it. Now you can also call it whatever you want, like It's fine. Because you're simply copying this object in this variable. So it becomes same. But just to make sure it is making sense, I gave it the same name. And now I can use it. It's completely fine. Understood, everyone? Just separation of code. That's all. Okay. And again, guys, as I said, you can export anything you want. But in this case, I'm only exporting one thing. Okay. But you can export multiple things by putting curly braces and mentioning multiple things. Okay. But I'm exporting only one thing. That one thing is directly going in this. Okay. And now then we are ready to create the endpoints. Okay, guys. So let's go. So app dot post, because it's going to be for creation of user. So post. Okay. And then slash, let's call it as register. Exactly, Komalpreet, we can say that. So register. And then here we're going to be getting our request and response. Okay. And now, guys, we know, right? I hope now I don't have to tell you, like, again, going back to the testing client and doing all that stuff. We know that the data comes in where, guys? Data comes in request.body. But to get our data directly in request.body, we need to use a middleware. So that data is properly converted chunk by chunk, collected chunk by chunk, and converted to the data that we need, the JS object. And guys, if anyone is new here, you guys have to watch the whole course to understand what I'm doing here. Okay. So app.use, the middleware is what, guys? What's the name of the middleware? Express.json. And guys, answer me one question very, very truthfully. Are you guys practicing everything that I'm teaching here? Okay. Just answer me this very truthfully. Everyone. Come on. So guys, we'll get our data in here. So basically, whatever is coming in request will be available in this user. Okay. Because if you don't practice, guys, the whole this 8-9 days will not be worth. Okay. So I want you guys to practice. I want you guys to practice everything. That's great. That's great, Rishikesh, Drex. That's great. That's great. Everyone, guys, please start practicing. Okay. So, guys, we'll get our user here. Everyone. Now, how do we register it? Simply user model dot create, and we simply pass our user. Right, everyone? And then here we get the user back. So document back, but we don't need it. We simply want to send a response. A message. That is, guys, I'm doing the exact same thing that I did yesterday. I hope there's no confusion. User registered. Right, everyone? And if there's an issue, dot catch error console.log the error and send a response. And guys, if something happened, then we can also send a status. Yes, I'm going to be using async await. Don't worry, Utpal. Wait, let me complete this. So if something happens, a status code of 500 just to show the internal server error, and for message, send a message, some problem. And here I want to send a status of 201, right? That's the status code for creation. So guys, the basic idea is done, right? Basic endpoint, everyone. So everyone, can you please confirm, are we clear till now? Are we completely clear till now? I'm not using anything that we have not learned so far. And this is the exact same thing that we learned yesterday. So I hope everything is cleared. Please tell me, everyone. Come on, quickly. Hopefully everything is cleared as of now. Can you please confirm that? I'm going to be asking it again and again because I want you guys to understand everything here. Okay? That's cool then. Nice. Now then, let's move ahead. And I don't know why I got to add on my video. Okay? So let me just, quickly, so that I can see that whatever I'm showing you, it's visible. Yeah, nice. Now then, guys, we know that there are few problems in this. What are the problems? We want to encrypt our password because our user is going to have name, email, password, and we don't want to store the password as it is, right, everyone? And also, let's open the Thunder client so that we can keep testing our things. Okay, so right now let's quickly call this endpoint quickly. Okay, shall we, guys? Just to test it, post method URL is http://localhost:8000/register. Okay, no headers. Even though I remove it, it will still go. In body, what's our schema? User should have name, email, password, age. Okay, so let's call this endpoint /register. I've mentioned it, register. Data will be having name, let's say Saurabh, just to test if everything is working fine. Email, let's say sgupta@gmail.com. Password, sgupta, and then age, let's say 27. Just to test it, send, and you got the response, guys. User registered. And to confirm, go in the database, refresh, and you got it. But you can see, right, everyone, the same thing. Password is directly stored like this, and we never want to store our password like this because it is hackable. People can see it. The owner can see it. Okay. Akhilesh, confirm password is something that is done on the front end, not at the back end. Okay. So guys, there are few things which can be only done on front end, not in the back end. Like, it is possible to do it in back end, but normally we never pass any confirm password option here. It is checked on the front end only. Is it clear, Akhilesh? Okay, so those simple checks of the two fields passwords are same or not, all those things are in the front end. Yes, I forgot the timestamp. Thank you so much for reminding that, Sarma. So guys, see, there are few things which I won't be able to do it here because technically we do them on front end. So don't worry, wait for React. In front end, I'll show you everything. Confirm password, doing calculation and all that stuff. Don't worry. In API, we directly work with the real-time data, the final data. Okay. We normally avoid doing a lot of calculation task and all that stuff here. Okay. So yeah, forgot the timestamps. Let's quickly go here and add timestamps. True. Okay, all set. So guys, what do we need to do here to encrypt the password? We have already imported bcrypt. So let's go and let's start doing that. So guys, before even doing that, now then let's convert this whole thing into async and await approach, because we have two ways of handling promises. One is then and catch, one is async and await. Now then and catch makes our code look a little bigger. So let's convert it into async and await. Don't worry, Sudhir, I'll show you how to encrypt the password. Don't worry. Tokens will be there, guys, don't worry. But token will come when we do login, right, Rishikesh? Tokens are generated at the time of login. Right now we are doing registration. Don't forget, guys. Okay, cool. So guys, see, then is nothing but it is just a way of handling if the promise is getting resolved. So whatever the promise resolves, whatever data the promise gives back, we get it using then. Whatever the promise gives back in resolve, whatever data, we get it in the then, and we access it using this callback function. Okay. The same thing can be done by using await. So what we can do is, we can do user model dot create user, but now rather than calling then, you can just apply a await in front of it, and then your document will be actually available directly to you like this. So user model dot create. Now you don't have to use then, just apply a await. Await will make sure that the promise is first resolved or rejected, whatever happens, wait till then, and whatever it gives back, store it in this doc. So now you no longer have to perform then and use a callback function to access the data given by the promise. You can simply use await. Now guys, I'm not going in very deep because I told you I have taken a separate course on asynchronous JavaScript, so you can watch that to understand async and await. And if you're coming to Node.js, you should be already knowing async await. It's very important, async await and promises. So please watch my async JS sessions as well. But again, here we go. Just giving you a basic idea that initially when the promise resolves, we use then to access whatever data it is resolving. So in the callback function, we get that data. Here we use await to access whatever it is resolving. So whatever data this promise is resolving, that will be now directly available in this doc. But we are still not handling catch. What if some error happens? So for that, guys, you can simply apply a try catch now. So put this thing in try, and if some issue happens, you can have a catch, okay, and pass these things in here. And yeah, also don't forget, you can get your error in this. Okay, so now you're going to be doing this logic. But the idea is, if you're using await, so in whatever function you're writing await, that function should be async. So you have to go ahead and see, guys, this await function, this await code is inside which function? This function. This is the function, right? Right. If I remove this code, guys, please try to understand. This is just a try block. It is not a function. Okay, this is the function. So you have to go before that function and apply a async. Await is only should be used inside a async function, and that's all. So now your then and catch code is converted into async await. But guys, catch is still important, because if there is no catch, how will you handle the error? Yes, it's mandatory. So guys, is it cleared? Now we converted our then and catch code with async and await. Utpal, is it cleared, buddy? So this is what you're going to be doing. Okay, and yeah, don't forget to send the response. So response.send. Okay, just a simple message. User registered. Okay, cool. And also status of. And that's it, guys. Now your code is working with async and await. It looks much more simpler, and code is very less. So when you have then and catch, you see like multiple functions there. So it's okay. Now it's done. But now, guys, we still have not solved the problem of encrypting the password, right? So now let's go ahead and encrypt the password. So now we know, guys, in this user object we have a password field, and we need to encrypt it. So guys, should we do it, everyone? Shall we do it? Let's go. So here we're going to do it here. So first of all, we generate a salt. So we already have installed bcrypt. We have already imported bcrypt. So bcrypt dot first generate the salt. This function, first of all, mention how many rounds you want. I want around 10 rounds of algorithm to be run. Like it should run 10 times. And then the second is a callback, in which you either get the error or your salt. Okay, simple idea. If there is no error, so if no error, then I want to use that salt and now encrypt my password. So again, bcrypt. Now guys, again, if anyone is new here, this is something that we have done yesterday completely in detail. So please watch my yesterday's session as well. But in this case, guys, just to give you an idea, we are generating a salt here, telling the algorithm to run 10 times, and Either it will give you error or salt. So if there is no error, then I'm performing. What is the function, guys? What is the function to encrypt? I forgot the name. Hash. Yes, it was hash. So hash, and then in the hash, you pass your current password. So now, guys, whatever we are getting in the request body, we are storing it in user. So in this user, we have a property called as password, which is holding a normal password. So I want to encrypt that. So user dot password. That is I want to encrypt. Second, you have to mention the salt. So salt, which you're getting from this function. And third, again, it also has a callback function which will either give you error or the new password. So let's call it as hpass, which is your hashed password. And now in this function, if again there is no error, so now, guys, what I'm going to be doing is I passed the user.password field to encrypt the password or hash the password. Now, once I receive my new hpass, I'll update the object's password property with that new password. So user.password equals new password is hpass. So this password. And now what we have to do is we have to take this whole code. Okay. Actually, we should have done try catch inside. Okay, we should have not done this inside try. So let's take this here. Okay. So now you can see, guys, the first thing that we do is we receive the user, and the first thing that we do is we encrypt the password. Okay, hash the password. And after hashing the password, our user will be updated, and then we'll run this code. Here we go. Don't worry. Let me just, adjust it properly. And that's it. But now, guys, the case here is now your await is no longer inside this function, because you also have one more callback function, this one. So now your await is inside this function. So you don't have to put async here now. Put it here, because now your await is working inside that function. And that's it, guys. All set. Is that clear, guys? Your whole thing is done now. Okay. So /register, you get your request, access the data from that request. Okay, you will get your everything, name, username, password, email, and then generate the salt. Okay, if there is no error, then hash the password with this salt. Then again one callback function. If there is no error, whatever password is generated, update my object. Okay, and then if everything is fine, then perform user model.create, pass the new updated user object in there, and send a response if everything is fine. If there is some issue in this, then definitely catch that issue, print it, and report the problem or send a response. And that's it, guys. Exact same thing what we did yesterday, just by using async await. And remember, guys, why I removed async from here? Because now your await functionality is inside this function, not inside this function anymore. Okay, so now we are done. Let's go and let's check it if our things are getting encrypted. Let's go. Our data, our password is getting encrypted or not. So let's quickly go. Sorry, hashed, not encrypted. We are hashing it, right? So let's go with Mongo. Where is our MongoDB? Okay, wait. Do I have a tab open? Something. Okay, I used it. So delete this one first. We don't need it anymore. And now let's check it. So again, send. And here we go, guys. User registered. So let's check it in MongoDB. Password should be encrypted or hashed. Again, I don't know why I'm saying encrypted. Here we go, guys. Password is hashed. And you've also got created at, updated at. Because now in the schema we have mentioned that timestamp should be there. So guys, first endpoint done. So we can mention here. We can track our project now. Done. Or just done. Okay. Now then, let's move on to login. And also let's create few more users. So let's create Utpal. Password will be again Utpal. And let's say age will be something like, 28 or 30, let's say. Random age. Send. It is also done. One more user I need. So let's say Ujjwal. Ujjwal, and the password will also be Ujjwal. Guys, I'm not using any complicated password here, just to make sure that we remember it. Okay, send and done, guys. So now we'll be having 3 users here. Okay, you can see, and the passwords are properly hashed, and that's really cool. So guys, ready then for login, everyone? Let's go. So this is endpoint for registering user. Okay, now then here we go. Endpoint for login. So again, app.post /login, again request response. Now guys, I hope you remember what do we do in login. A person, so guys, again base idea, how will someone send a login request? Okay, so they will send a post request. We need to handle this. They will send a post request on this endpoint, localhost colon 8000 /login, and they will also send user credentials in JSON format, which will be email and then some email, sgupta@gmail.com, and they will send a password as well. Okay, so this is what people will send in login. That's what we are, guys, as API developers, you just have to imagine what the front end will do. So front end person will send a post request on this route, and this will be the body data. That means 3 things are coming. Okay, so okay, fine. App.post /login. So I have created the route logic to handle that request /login. It's a post request. So yeah, post. And now they are sending this data. I need to get this data from the request, incoming request. So for that, let's call it as user credentials. Okay, so it's gonna come in request.body because it's a body data. Right, guys? It is a body data. So it will come in request.body. Now you got it, guys. You've got the data. Now, basic thing, you need to check if a user with this email and this password exists in my database or not. That is what we need to check. Correct, guys? If a user with this username, this email and this password existing or not. Isn't it better to use const instead of let? Yes, yes, yes. See, normally I use let wherever I feel I'm planning to change my properties. Okay, so in these cases, I know that I'm going to change my properties in this object. So I technically go for let. But let is not bad. Let is also fine. Testero. Let is also fine. But I generally, I use const everywhere else. Only where I feel that I'm going to be changing the data a lot, I go for let. In that case only. Like, that's just one way I follow my approach. That's it. Okay, so some data that I feel like I'm going to be changing a lot, the properties, the values, I go for let in that case. Okay. So there is an insert option in Mongoose. Fine, then you guys can use it, definitely. See, again, if there is insert, it won't hamper because create is also a very simple function. And even if there is insert, it will be exactly similar to this. Right, Drex? So you guys, while doing it, you can try. Why not? Definitely. Okay. Like generally people follow create, so you can go for create. But again, if there is insert option, you guys can try insert. There is also a save option. You guys can try that as well. Okay, because create, I find it very simple. Okay, so Drex, in this case, we can go for create. And then maybe in the next sessions, we can go for insert as well. Why not? I might also show you how to use save. So we can also go for that. Okay. So now guys, we've got it. So now we need to check if a user with this particular username is there or not. So first of all, let's check it for email. Sorry, not username, email. We first have to check if a user is there who is having this email. Then we'll check if it is having this password. So let's go. And again, guys, we'll use the async await logic. So first of all, make our function async. And now user model dot find, and we know it returns a promise, but now you no longer have to worry about that. So yeah, find one, because there will be only one person with one email. So find one is fine. Find one where email is matching user cred dot email. And guys, now you can handle it via then, but as I said, now we are not doing then and catch in this case. So we'll put an await in here, and if I put await, whatever data resolves, it is available here. Now in this case you can use const because you're not going to be changing the data. In this case you can use const because you're not going to be changing data of this object. So const. So guys, user model.find one, find a person with this email. If you find it, then put it in this user object. Now we know that if someone is not found with that email, and again guys, one more thing, don't forget to handle the logic. Always do proper error handling. Even I'm not doing the best error handling here because we are not having that much time, but at least the basic ones. So catch the error if something happens, log that error, and also send a response. And guys, if you're new, please understand this is a part of a long running course, so please watch the previous sessions as well if you want to understand everything what we are doing here. Okay, so message of some problem. Now guys, again it can be a very good message, but I'm just keeping it very simple, and status will be 500. Const to use when data unchanged. Exactly, because const means constant. So the variables that you're not going to be changing, use const for that. Okay guys, so nice. Now here we'll get our user. Okay, if everything is fine, this will return resolve to the user. By using await, we'll get that in this. Again, as I said, if the user was not found, this find one will return null. If the user is not there with the email, this find one will return null. So we'll get null in this. So we need to check that. If user is not equal to null, then only I want to do something. Otherwise, just send a response that user with that username was not found. So status will be 404 because some resource is not found. And you can send a message. User not found. Something like that. But if it was correct, so now you need to check the password. And again guys, your password in the database, again guys, same logic. Your password in the database is encrypted. But what password the client will send, it will not be encrypted. So you have to compare this password with the encrypted or the hashed password which is inside database. Okay. So for that guys, what you have to do? So if you find the user, you will get this data back. Correct? This whole data back in this user object. So you need to check now. So how do we check? Because one password which is coming from the request, it is a normal password, and one user password which is coming from database, it's a hashed password. So to compare a hashed password and a normal password, you can't use your normal operation. Okay. So now you have to use your bcrypt's compare function. Bcrypt dot compare, and here you will first pass your normal password. So user cred dot password, and then your encrypted password, which is available in the user which you fetched from database. So user dot password, and then it has a callback function. If there is some error, okay, if nothing, then you get a success, true or false. This is just a variable guys, you can call it whatever you want. So you'll just check if success is simply equal to true, then what? Then login successful. So response dot send login, actually a message in this case. Message login. Guys, I hope you can understand this is exactly same of what we have learned yesterday, right? Everyone, we are just repeating the whole stuff. So I hope you're getting more idea now. And guys, if the password is wrong, we'll send a message. So if the password doesn't match, that means the password is wrong. So we'll just send a message of incorrect password. And the status code that we send for incorrect password is 403, right? 403. Okay. No, Akhilesh. No 201, because you're not creating something. Even if it is a post request, you are not creating anything. So not 201. 201 only when you're creating something in the database. Here you're just checking. Even though it's a post request, you're not creating anything. You're just checking. So no 201. 200 is okay. All good. So guys, shall we test it, everyone? Shall we test it now? So first of all, let's send a wrong email. Like this. Send. Here we go. User not found. Amazing. Now let's send a wrong password. Here we go. Incorrect password. And you got 403. And now if I pass the correct password, here we go. Login success. Got the idea, guys? Everyone, no issues. 200 is by default, Utpal, as we learned yesterday. 200 is by default, so you don't have to worry about it. 200 is a default status, right? Utpal, don't forget about that. So now, guys, you tell me, what do we do when login is successful? What are we planning to do? If login is correct, what is next that we do? Come on, tell me, everyone. What is the next thing that we do is login is successful? Let's see if you can answer. Come on, guys. Let's see if you can answer. Route to secure page. No, Akhilesh. See again. Don't connect front end to back end directly. How can we route to secure page here, Akhilesh? It's an API. We don't go to another page from here. It's a front end application, right? It's front end's part. Correct, Akhilesh? It is done in front end. So you know what happens actually? Front end sends a login request to API. API sends back a token. If the front end receives the token, that means front end knows login was success. So it's front end's job to route to a secure page. We are just building the API, not the front end. So we don't have any concept of page here. See, we are only doing half the work. The actual logic is done by both worlds, front end and back end together. Then you get a whole app. We are only creating half app. That is only the API part. Some things like password, confirm password, showing messages to the real user, right? Going to a secure page, showing a 404 page, that can only be done on front end. How is it possible in the API? Got the point, Akhilesh? So front end asks for something from the API. API sends a message to the front end. According to that message, front end either displays a message, goes to new page, goes back to normal page. Front end does its task based on whatever it is receiving from the API. Right now, we are not thinking about front end. We are only thinking about API. API is going to give this. Now, whatever front end does, it is the later part. That we will learn when we go to React. Is that cleared? So everyone, please, right now, stop thinking about front end. Just focus on the API. Because based on whatever API gives to front end decide what it needs to do. Got the idea? Okay, cool. So now, guys, time to generate the token. And to generate the token, so whenever login is successful, we're not sending a message. We will simply create token. And for that, we have the package of JWT. So guys, how do we generate token, everyone? How do we generate token? We use a function called as sign. In the sign, we have first payload. That is some data related to the user. As I said, whenever you're planning to generate JWT token, JWT tokens are generated by using three things. Headers, which is already internally settled in this package, so we don't have to pass it. Second is payload, something specific related to that user. In this case, I'm going to be using user's email as my data. So email, user cred dot email. I'm going to be using the email, unique data related to the user. Then third is the secret key. For now, let's simply pass it as Nutrify app. Okay, simple secret key as of now. And then after that, you get either error or the token. And then if no error, if there is no error, if there is null, simply we'll send back the token. So response.send, we'll send two things in this now. A message of login success and token. So token that we have generated. And that's it, guys. All set. Status will be 200, so no need to put any status here. And that's it, guys. We are done. Just this much code, and now you're sending token. So now if you go ahead and check the request, you should get back a token. See, got the message login success. and you also got the token. So this testing client right now is acting as your front end. So now you'll be sending this token back whenever you send another request. But for that, again, we need to create that rules and regulations on the API. So guys, login endpoint done. Right, everyone? Login endpoint also completed. So are we clear till now, everyone? And guys, if you're new, please understand that it is a project is part of a long running course. So if you don't know how APIs are built and all the basics, you won't be able to understand all this at one. So please watch my previous sessions as well. Okay, it is just a secret key which is used in generating the token. So a token is mix of three things: the headers, the payload, and the secret key. By using these three things, the algorithm runs and a token is generated. Okay, so this is the data related to user. This is one secret key which is not so secret because you can't see it right now, but as a developer, when you work in a real app, you have to keep it secret. Okay, for now it's fine. For development purpose right now, for education purpose, it's fine. Okay, so guys, login endpoint done. Okay, so you can put this. Now all the endpoints after this, okay, below endpoints must be accessed only with a token. That means now all the endpoints that I'm creating after these three endpoints, search a food by name, track food for me, show my track food, all these endpoints, guys, all these endpoints will only work if the user is having a token. And guys, for the user to get a token, they have to do what? They have to log in. Without login, you can't get a token. That means only if you're logged in, then you can call the other three endpoints. Because for the other three endpoints, I'll create a rule that only if you have a token, I'll let you access. And for that, guys, what I'll do? We'll create a middleware, right, everyone? I hope you remember yesterday's things. So for that, I'll create these three endpoints. But before letting anyone access these three endpoints, we'll create a middleware. So the concept, just to get you the idea again, I know that you guys remember it, but just to get you the idea again, the plan is what? You have 5 endpoints. 1, 2, 3, let's say 4 endpoints. Okay. This is your register. This is your login. Let's say this is your search food by name. And this is your track food. Okay. So people, a front-end server or a testing client can access this endpoint directly because it's public. You can also access this endpoint directly because it's public. But once you access this endpoint and perform login, you will get a token back. Now you have to keep that token with you. And now if you want to access these 2 endpoints, you have to send that token. And at the API development part, it's my job to check if you're sending the token or not. And if you're sending, is that token correct or not? Now guys, again, if you're new, yesterday we have learned all this in detail. So please watch yesterday's session as well. But now our job is to secure this endpoint. And to secure this endpoint, we will create a middleware, which will be there like a wall. So before, if you're calling the search endpoint or track food endpoint, you are not going to go there directly. You're not allowed. First, you will go to this middleware. This middleware will check if you have the token in the request or not. And if there is a token, if it is correct or not. If it is correct, it will let you to the endpoint you desire. If it is the token is not correct, it will send you back from here only. So we'll have to create these endpoints as well as this middleware, which will stand between the endpoints and the request, which is coming from the front end or testing client. So we need to create this as well. Right, guys? This was the idea. So yeah, token is like a ticket for accessing. Yes, Komalpreet. I think you were not there yesterday, right? In the yesterday's session. So yeah, no issues, no issues. And again, guys, everyone who is new, if you're getting confused, please don't forget, it's a big course. So you have to watch all the previous sessions as well to understand this project. Okay. So guys, ready everyone? Again, guys, now if people want to search food or track food and all that stuff, we also need food information in our database. Yes or no, guys? We also need food information in our database, right? So now, before doing anything else, we'll go in our database, okay, and we will create one more collection called as foods. And now in that collection, see, I already have a JSON file. Wait, let me show you. In the morning, I already created a JSON file with few food items. It's not having so many food items, but it's having few food items. See, I already have a JSON file. Okay, let me show you how this looks like. So I downloaded it from internet. I basically prepared it from internet. So some food items like chicken curry, paneer, some Indian food items which people eat. So chicken curry, paneer tikka, dal tadka, aloo gobi. And these all data is basically related to 100 grams. Okay. So I'm preparing my database in a format where all my data is based on 100 grams. So if you eat 100 grams of chicken curry, you're gonna get 110 calories, 15 grams of protein, 5 grams of carbohydrate, 4 grams of fat, 2 grams of fiber. If you eat 100 grams of paneer tikka, it's of 200 calories, in which you'll get 10 grams protein, 8 grams carbohydrates, 12 grams fat, and 3 grams this. So it's basically that. Okay? That's it, guys. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. So, basic idea. And guys, even if this data is wrong, it's okay. Because when you use it, you can use a real-time data. This is just a dummy data which I'm having here. So I'm going to insert all this data in this JSON file. So don't worry, guys. I'm also going to share this JSON file with you. Right now, this all data is based on 100 grams. Because in my database, I want everything to be based on 100 grams. Okay, I'm working in grams. In future, you can increase the units, cups, liters, and all that stuff. But for now, for the basic unit, we are going for 100 grams. So I want to insert this JSON data that I have in my Mongoose database. I've shown you how to do it in the MongoDB course. So click on add data. I have a foods table now. Click on add data. Go on this, import JSON or CSV file. Okay, our file is JSON file. So here we go, selecting that file, select, import. And that's it, guys. You can see now, you have all the data with ID and everything. So name. Okay. Got it, guys. And guys, securing part we'll do later on. Okay, securing part we'll do later on. First, let's create the endpoints and then we'll do the securing part. Okay, cool that? Hopefully. So now, first of all, or we can also do it right now. Okay, fine. First of all, let's create one endpoint which will give me all the food products. Actually, we don't need that endpoint. We don't want to show all the food products at once. But this is not have timestamps when put JSON file directly. In that case, you have to create a model first. You have to create a schema in database. So you also have to create a schema. Or we can update all the records to add this thing. The only thing that why we don't have that thing, timestamps is because we didn't have schema. So for now, I'm not worrying about it. But in future, you can create a schema before entering the data. And then right now also you can update it. Don't worry about that. You can update. You can just go, access the collection, and add those two columns as updation parts. Okay. And then for in future, you can have a schema where it will be there. Okay, Sarma. Right now, I'm not inserting it from a API or something like that. That's why it's okay. But we can update it. Is it cleared? Hopefully. Okay. So guys, timestamps of this, don't worry us right now because it's just food items. But again, I would suggest you to use it in future. Okay, guys, so we have 10 food data. So let's create an endpoint, which will first of all give me all data. Let's just create an endpoint. So guys, we again need a schema and model if we want to work with this. Yes or no, guys? We need a schema and model, right? For food items. Yes or no? So again, we'll go in the models folder. And now, let's create one more file called as food model.js. And don't worry, let me show you how to add timestamps as well. Don't worry, I'll show you that. So food model.js. And now, two things only. Creating the schema and the model and exporting the model. That's all. So first of all, require Mongoose. Create the schema quickly. So const food schema equals mongoose.schema. How many properties do I want? So guys, even though I already have the data, if we want to work with Mongoose, we still need the schema. Even though I already have my data here, even though we already have our data here. Guys, understand this point. Even though we already have our data here, we still need a schema if we want to work with Mongoose. Okay? Yes, Vasu, this is the last class as of now for this particular course. So our data is having name, calories, protein, carbohydrates, fat, and fiber. So these are the properties we need in schema as well. Because right now, guys, see, right now I have only inserted 10 data. In future, I might create API endpoint, which will insert data one by one. See, right now, just to save time, I created 10 data by default. But in future, you might create an API endpoint by which you'll insert data one by one, one by one. So for example, 10 data right now. Okay, I think of, oh, I've got 5 new products. Let's insert them using the API. Getting the idea, everyone? I'm not creating that create food endpoint right now, but in future you might have it. That's why schema is important. For now, it's fine. For now, let's not use time on that. And guys, you tell me, would you be able to create a post endpoint to create a new food? Yes or no? Depending on how much we have learned so far, would you be able to create an endpoint for creating new food? Let's see. Let's see if you can answer it now. Creating an endpoint for creating new food. Right? Just a post endpoint. Right? Request response, request.body, and then simply food model.create that new object, and done. That's good. I'm really happy seeing this. I'm really happy seeing this. Okay, let's go. Let's go. So schema will have, okay, what are the things that we have? Name. So name, which will be type of string, and just a simple required. True. Okay. And guys, right now my all units are in grams. Okay. So all the units are in grams. So yeah, that's understandable for now. Then we'll have what? Copy it from here so that we don't waste time. Calories. Wow. It is not getting copied or what? Okay, now it's getting copied. So type will be number. And again, required should be true. And now just like that, how many things we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 more things. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, now time to change it. So copy it. Protein, carbohydrates, fat, and fiber. Okay, all set. You got all the schema. And also now mention timestamp, so that from now on, whatever data is getting created, whatever new food gets created from now on, they will have a timestamp. And for these 10 foods, don't worry. You just have to perform a simple update and add all those columns. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, just a simple update will add all the things. So don't worry about that. Okay. So timestamps. I always get confused in this spelling. I don't know why. Okay, done. And now, guys, the model. So const food model equals mongoose.model. The collection name is foods, right? Foods. And the schema name is food schema. And done, guys. And now just export it so that it can be used anywhere. So module.exports food model. And that's it, guys. All set. And now let's import it here as well. Okay. So const, again, guys, here it's just a variable. You can name it whatever you want, but just give it a good name. Food model require whatever this file is exporting. ./models/food model. So whatever this file, food model file, is exporting, which is nothing but this object, which will directly come in this object, and I can use it now. So guys, let's create one endpoint which will show all the foods, and I think it should be very simple, right? So endpoint to see all foods. So guys, again, it's fetching. It is fetching of all foods. So guys, what kind of request it will be? What method? Again guys, fetching of food. So what kind of request it is? Tell me. Quickly guys. It should be what? Get. And let's call it as foods. So then request. How come it is post, Utpal? Post is for creation, right? You're fetching data. Are you confused somewhere? You're fetching data. Again guys, while answering, not only here, in your interviews or anywhere, think. Take your time, think. No issue, Utpal, it's okay, I understand. It happens by mistake. But always before answering, think. Take some time, think. Think about what you have learned and then try to answer. Okay? So because we want to fetch all the food products. Right? So fetch or see. So it should be get request. So now guys, simple. You have the food model. And again we are using async await logic. So let foods equals await food model dot find. That's all. Just find. Because find function gives us everything. And it's going to give us a promise which will resolve to food items. And then I'm putting await, which will just give me the resolved data, which is getting stored here. And again guys, don't forget, try and catch if some issue happens. You can also go for then catch guys. We have seen how it works. And await should be inside async. Sorry, spelling mistake. Async. Okay, and what's the issue? What's some issue going on here? Oh, sorry, catch. Catch. Error. Log the error. Console.log the error for developers. And guys, yeah, also one more thing. Whenever you're launching your APIs, at that time, please remove the console.logs. Only in the development environment, you should have logs and all that stuff. When you launch it for production, please make sure that you remove all these extra comments, extra console.logs. They should be always part of the development environment. Right now we're just developing, so it's fine. But in future you'll learn all these things, all this architecture logic and clean coding and all that stuff. For now you're learning fundamentals, so it's okay. It's understandable. Okay, so no issues in that. Cool. Then send a response if something happens, and don't forget the status as well. 500 and a simple message. Some problem while getting info. Okay, and if everything is found out, then simply response dot send these foods directly. That's it guys, everyone. So now let's test this, if this is working. So new request should be get and here foods, and let's check send. And guys, can you see that you got all the food items? Everyone got it, how it worked? So we simply called food model dot find, which basically got everything from database for us, and then we sent it as a response. But guys, right now you understand, right, everyone? Right now I called it directly. That means right now this API endpoint is public. Anyone can call it. Correct guys, everyone? Right now this API endpoint is public, so anyone can call it. So now we want to make it secured. So how do we do that guys? Because right now this endpoint is directly reachable from a request, so any request can directly come to this. So now I need to create a middleware which will check if there is a token coming in the request or not, and if it is correct or not. Okay, so now guys, what we need to do, we need to create a middleware which will check if this is completely fine or not. Okay, if in the request we have a token or not, and if there is a token, if it is correct or not. Only if it is correct, then you're allowed to access this functionality. So if any request comes on this, rather than going into this functionality, rather than calling this functionality directly, first go in the middleware and let the request checked. So guys, what we will do is we'll create a function for that. And guys, again, we literally did this yesterday, so I hope it's fine. Function verify token, I'm going to call it. It's going to be middleware. So any middleware has 3 parameters: request, response, and next. Correct everyone? And guys, how do we send tokens? There are three ways of sending things, right? Either URL or header or body. How do we send tokens? Through URL, through header, or through body? You tell me. How do we send tokens? Come on, yesterday we learned it. Let's see if you can answer it. How do we send tokens, guys? Tell me, everyone. Okay, nice. Through header. Which header? Which header, guys? What was the name of the header? Exactly. What was the name of the header? Yes. Okay. So now to access headers, we know that we use the request object only. So request dot headers, right? And yes, from that headers, now we know that request dot headers will give us, again, let me do it again, just to show you. Console.log. Let's print all the headers. Yes, that's great, guys, that you guys remember it. Let's print the headers and let's send a dummy response. Coming from middleware. Okay. So now, guys, we need to mention. So basically, right now, if someone sends a request on /foods, this functionality is getting called. But I don't want that. I want this functionality to be called first. So for that, we'll take this function and we'll keep it here. So now, if someone sends a request to /foods, first it will go to this functionality, which is verify token, which is this one. And then I'm going to be simply printing the headers coming in the request and sending a response from here only. That means right now I'm not allowing it to go to this functionality. Simple. And if you have watched all my sessions, guys, in the last 2 sessions we have understood this, how it works. Right now we're just discussing it, what's going to happen. So let's print the headers. So then I want the person to send header. So for that, authorization, and in value you have to mention bearer space the token which you got when you perform login. So let's send the request again, and guys, this is the token you need to send. Whenever you log in, you get a token, you can use that token now. So simply now send this token. That's it. Okay, so you're sending this token as header in this request for /foods. Okay, so now what will happen is when you send this request with /foods, when you send a request to /foods, let me close the things that we don't need, guys. First of all, you know, we have so many things now. Okay, so now when you send a request to /foods, when you send a request for this endpoint, it will go to verify token, and here I'm just printing all the headers. So to see that, open the console to see the incoming headers in the request, and then you're simply sending a response. You're not letting it go to this main endpoint as of now. Till now it was going, but now it will not go. Don't worry. So now if I send it, see, you can see here you're getting a response as coming from middleware. That means when you sent a request on /foods, you went to the middleware, and from that middleware only got the response. That means you didn't raise the main endpoint. You got your response from the middleware only. And also in the console you can see all the headers you sent in request are here. Now this connection, host, accept, they are all internal headers. You didn't mention them, but you got it. But you sent one header called as authorization, which was your own header with this data, and you can see it's coming here. Now from this we need to extract this token. So we are interested in this property, authorization. So guys, when you read request.headers, you get an object, and from that object I'm interested in this authorization property. So then request.headers.authorization. Exactly same thing what we did yesterday. So now you see we'll only see whatever is there in the authorization. See, you got that data. When you send a request again, now you're only printing from the headers, just print the authorization header. So you got the data of authorization header. Now it is giving me a string with bearer space my token. I only need my token. So for that, I'm going to split this whole data with space. So now I will get an array. So now if I send a request again, that header will be splitted. Okay, that header will be splitted, and bearer will be on 0th index and token will be on 1st index. Okay, because you splitted that string, and when you split, you form an array. and I want to access the first index, which is my token. And finally, guys, I repeated it so that if there is someone new and if you guys also want a revision, you'll get the idea. Even though yesterday we understood this in a detailed manner, but just to, get the idea again. Now, if you send, you're getting your token. But now you also want to check on your API if the token is valid or not. So now, guys, let's make this middleware. So, guys, first thing that we need to check is if you're getting the token or not. So, actually, there are two things we need to check. First, check if you're getting the token or not. So, for that, you will check if request dot headers dot authorization. So, if this header is not there, that means the person is not sending the token. So, if this is not equal to undefined, then only task. Otherwise, that means person is not sending authorization header. That means I need token. So send a response that please send a token. Okay. That means if someone sends a request and if authorization header is not undefined, then I'll do something. But if it is undefined, then else will be called. That means if authorization header is undefined, that means people are not sending it. And if people are not sending it, then I'm going to send a message, please send a token. And only if people are sending it, then my job is to do the other part, which is this, getting the token. And after getting the token, now we need to verify it. So let token. Now then, let's verify it. So got the token. So if it is not undefined, that means if authorization header is there, so extract the token and now check if the token is correct or not. And for that, again, you will use jwt dot verify and you'll pass your token here, right? See the properties. First, pass the token. So pass the token. And second, guys, pass the secret key that you used while generating the token. So what was the secret key? Nutrify app. Use that to check the token. So pass it here now. And now it will give you, okay, simply the data. First, either the error or secondly, the data back. Okay, so simply data. And if there is no error, that means token was verified. So if no error, simply you're correct. Next, move on to the other endpoint. And that's it, guys. This is your whole code. That means now, see, if someone sends a request to /foods, it will not call this main endpoint. Again, explaining you guys. If someone sends a request on /foods, it will not go on this endpoint. It will not go on this function directly. It is the main function. It will go to the verify token function. There, I'll check if the request headers, if in the request there is a header called as authorization. If it is not there, I'll send a response from here only. Please send token. Okay, I'm not going to let you go to the main endpoint. From here only, I'll send a response. Please send a token. And only if there is a token, then I'll extract that token from that header. And then I'll check. If that token is correct, then next. Again, if it is not correct, then what? So guys, now the status code should be what? 403. You're not allowed to access anything. Invalid token. Invalid token. So you sent a token, but it was wrong. So initially, I'm checking if you're sending the token or not. If you're not sending, please send a token. And if you're sending, then if there is no issue, then next. When I call next, this verify token function will let me go to the actual endpoint, which is this one. And if the token is incorrect, simply this. So now, guys, let's test it, everyone. Let's test it. So now, first of all, let's not send the token. Let's remove this header. Let's not send it. It's there, but I removed this, so let's send it. See, you got the response. Please send a token. Now let's send a token, but the wrong one. So let's make some mistake in the token. E removed. Send. Invalid token. And now finally, let's send a proper token. And see, you got your data. Because when you send a proper token, it called next. Next basically lets you go to the actual endpoint which you are intending to go. And guys, done. The middleware for checking and verifying token is created. Are we clear, guys? Everyone, can you please confirm that? All set, everyone? Can you please confirm this quickly? Again, guys, yesterday we created it. Just I wanted to tell you again, so we got it again. Okay. And now, guys, this function is also very big. So let's do one thing. Let's create a separate file called as verify token.js. And let's actually keep this function there. What say, guys? It's fine, right? So we'll keep this function there separately. So verify token code is mentioned separately. And now I will export it from here. Module.exports this function verify token. And now here I will import it. So on top I'll go and I'll import const verify token. Again, guys, you can call it whatever you want, but make sure you call it in the correct way possible. So require dot slash verify token. So now, guys, from that file I'm exporting this function. So here I'm importing it. So that function is exactly available in this variable. So this also is my function. That function is copied in this variable. So this variable will act as like my function. And then I'm calling this function verify token in here. And it's okay. All good. And now, guys, if you test it, it is still all good. If I remove this E, oh, some issue. What's happening? Guys, some issue has happened after doing this. Let's see what is it. Oh, guys. Simple. Issue is very simple. Here in the file, I'm using this JWT object, right? But have I imported it here? It was imported in this file, JWT. So I also need to import JWT in this file as well, because I'm using that here. So in this page, we are creating token when someone logs in, and in this page, we are verifying it, and we are exporting this function so that in this file, we can import that function and use it here. Okay. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone, are we cleared with this? Please confirm that. Hopefully, we are cleared with this. And now let's test it again. So now, wrong token, send, and here we go, invalid token. And if I pass correct token, got data. So now, guys, from now on, every endpoint that I create, I'm going to make sure that I pass this middleware to every endpoint so that that endpoint is not directly called. If I don't pass this middleware, then this endpoint can be called directly without token. But if I pass this endpoint, if I pass the middleware, then if someone calls this endpoint, that request will first go to middleware will verify it, and then if everything is fine, then it will let that middleware to call this function. Got the idea, guys, everyone? So now we created an extra endpoint, search all food. This is done. Now let's create an endpoint for search food by name. Shall we, everyone? Okay. So endpoint to search food by name. Okay, guys. And guys, I'm going to be sending name through URL. So it's again going to be a GET request. And I'm not going to be sending ID. I'm going to be sending name. Is that clear, guys? I am going to be sending name. Sir, what is the difference between express.json and middleware? Express.json is also a middleware, but it's an inbuilt middleware. This verify token is our middleware. Here I can also mention express.json. It is just that it's an inbuilt middleware. Is that clear, Akhilesh? I can also mention this middleware here. It is an inbuilt middleware, whose job is to extract data from request and convert it to JS object, which I can also do. But why to? Because it's inbuilt available. And this verify token is our own middleware, custom middleware, which we created for our own purpose. So express.json is also middleware. Verify token is also middleware. One of this is created by me. One of it is already created, and I'm using it directly here. We can also pass our verify token here. See, we can also pass app.use verify token. But we're not going to pass it like this. Why? Because if I pass app.useVerify token, that means this middleware will be applied for every request. So do I want to apply verify token middleware for register? No, because if someone is registering for the first time, why will they send a token? Token is only available after login, and login is only possible after registration. So if someone is registering, they don't have a token. So if I apply verify token like this token verification will also work for register endpoint. But that should not happen. Register should be public, because I know that client is not going to send token for that. That's why we're not doing this, and we are applying verify token separately in a line. But both of them are middlewares. Is that cleared, Akhilesh? Okay, I think you missed few sessions in between, right? No issues. Please watch everything again. Okay, don't forget that. So guys, let's create an endpoint to search food by name. Let's go. Again, it is, guys, you're trying to get data. Doesn't matter how, by searching, but you're trying to get data. So again, it is what, guys, everyone? Get request. Because you're trying to get some data. So slash foods slash, now I'm saying that you will send me a URL variable in which you'll pass name of the food. Is that cleared, guys, everyone? You will send me a URL variable in which you will pass name of the food. Understood, guys, everyone? Got the idea? Request. So instead of ID, you're going to be passing name. Simple. That's it. And guys, remember that URL variables are just a way of passing data. Doesn't matter, because a lot of time you will see people will be always using IDs. It's not mandatory. We use IDs for the case where someone can click and see your data. In here, people will type name, and I want to send that name. So I'm going to be searching food based on name, not based on ID. Here I'm searching food based on name, not based on ID. Okay, because that is my requirement. That's why I'm saying I'm going to be sending name in the URL. Now let's go. So what do we have? Food model. So food model dot find based on this name. So where name of the food matches my name, which is in request dot params dot name. Right, guys? That's how you access URL parameters. So find all the foods whose name is matching my given name. Okay, and again, guys, I'm using async await logic. You can also use then catch logic here if needed. Okay, so let foods. And if there's an issue, then catch error. Just console.log the error. Okay, and guys, I hope no one is getting bored. Everyone, just confirming once in between. I hope no one is getting bored here, right? I hope you're understanding everything, because it's a project, so it will take time. I really hope no one is getting bored. Everyone, tell me that once, guys. Hopefully, that's good. And also, guys, if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. A little. Why, Rishikesh? What happened? What happened? Is it getting too big? But it's a project, right? It is supposed to get big, right? Rishikesh, hopefully you understand the point, buddy. It's a project. It is supposed to get big. But don't worry. What I'm thinking, guys, here is we can do half project today, okay? And we can do half project on Monday. Till that time, you can also create this whole project by yourself, the half project. I'm thinking about that. Repeated concepts, yeah, because we have to repeat, right? See, we learned that concept yesterday, but we implemented it today, right? Because in this project, we had to implement it. And this will happen. In multiple projects, you definitely have to repeat some concepts multiple times, right? Getting my point? Sir, can I use to create product name search like this? Yeah, that's also fine. But normally in Node.js, we use this URL structure, right? In Express, we use this URL structure. Right, so you can also go with that. It's completely fine. But then in that case, you have to parse the URL and extract that data if you're using question mark logic. Okay. If you use this logic, then you directly get access to this as a variable. But if you use the question mark logic, then you have to parse the URL and extract data, just like we did in the HTTP module. Okay, Rishikesh? So guys, we all have to get a habit of sometimes repeating things. Because in multiple projects, if you're making logins, you have to repeat the same thing again and again. But again, yesterday we learned and today we implemented it. So don't worry guys. And also let me ask you, can we do the tracking part as a tracking part of this project as a second part? What say guys? So that you also get time to understand this whole thing and create this whole thing. Just thinking. Let's do this project in 2 parts. What say? So let's take this as the last endpoint for today. Okay, and then only the tracking will be left, right? See, once this is done, only track food for me and show my tracked food. Only 2 things will be left, which we can do on Monday. Yes, Komalpreet, yes, exactly. So guys, let's go. Let's complete this endpoint quickly. So if someone tries to search food by name, okay, and if some problem happens, simply some problem in getting the food here, and if we find it, we'll simply send the food back. So response.send, send the foods back. Sorted guys, everyone? Simple enough or not? Please tell me. Yeah, we can do deployment on Monday then, definitely Akhilesh. Yes, yes, yeah. So guys, can you understand this endpoint, everyone? So now, if someone sends a request on /foods with a name in the URL, then I will try to find out that food with that name. So find me all the foods which have the name as the name which I'm having in my URL. If we get it, then send it. If there is some issue, then simply send some problem. So guys, is this API endpoint understood? Should we test this API endpoint, everyone? What say? So let's search, let's pass one food like this one. Let's say we pass paneer tikka. Should we check it, guys? What say? Food / the name is paneer tikka. Instead of find, we use match. No, we use find. Why match? Why will you go for match? Like, match is a secondary operator which you use. In this case, you'll go for find, right? Okay, don't worry. I'll teach you some more things in that, definitely. So guys, now we are sending food / paneer tikka. And guys, one thing we forgot. We didn't secure this endpoint, right? So guys, what do we have to do to secure this endpoint, everyone? What do we have to do to secure this endpoint? We just have to go and pass the middleware, right? Verify token, and that's it. So now, if someone sends a request on this endpoint, first it will check if token is there or not, and then only it will let us call this. So guys, should we test it, everyone? Now I'm passing, if I pass /foods, I get all the foods, and I'm created endpoint. I have now created endpoint where you can pass the name of the food, and then you get that food only. And see guys, I'm passing the token as well, so you get that food. Cleared guys, everyone? Please confirm that. So now we have an endpoint which will give me food based on name. But this is not the correct, like this is correct, but this is not the exact thing we want. Sometimes people might make spelling mistake in foods. Sometimes people might make spelling mistake in food. Sometimes people might only type paneer. And let's say I want to show them all the dishes related to paneer. This may happen, yes or no guys? Sometimes people might only mention paneer. Correct or not? So now, when I do name equals to this name, this is like checking for exact match, where name is paneer tikka. What if someone only writes paneer, or PAN, or CHICK for chicken? So I want to match, not the exact equal. I want to match if something matches, get me that. So for that guys, what you can use is, you can use something called as name equal to $regex, and then pass your data here. Request dot params dot name, like this. So now if someone passes some part of that data, like for example, instead of paneer, instead of paneer tikka, if I only pass paneer now, so now this paneer will go in my name, So I'm saying where name matches this paneer expression. I'm not checking if name matches paneer exactly. I'm simply checking if name matches this paneer expression somewhere. So if multiple foods have paneer in them, in their name, it will get all the foods for me. Is that clear, guys? Everyone got the idea? So name matches regex. That means name matches this expression, paneer. So now I am not checking for equality anymore. That if name matches paneer. I'm checking name matches this paneer, and paneer now is my pattern. If name matches this paneer pattern, get me that. So now if I check, I'm only passing paneer. Or let's simply pass chicken, only chicken. Send. And see guys, you got chicken curry. You also got butter chicken. See? Because both the words have chicken in it. Is that clear, guys? Everyone got the idea? Exactly. Got the idea, everyone? So now you're only passing chicken. But one more thing, guys. What if I pass it in lowercase? Like this, chicken. Now it's not working. So exactly. So for that, guys, this regex feature has one more option. So you can pass. What was that? I forgot. Let me recollect it. There is one more thing. How can I forget it? How can I forget it? There was something called as $I, which you can make false. Sorry, true. So this is basically, this $I stands for case insensitivity. So $I true means case insensitivity should be true. That means it should be case insensitive. That's it. So now if you check it, oh, what's the issue now? Have I made a mistake here? Let me check. I think I'm making some mistake. $I, can't use $I for string. I forgot exactly the value. Wait, guys, I have to check it, okay? I keep forgetting things like this. Let me just quickly check it somewhere. So let's search for $regex mongoose. Okay. I keep forgetting it, guys. So I might have made a very... Okay. It's $options and then I. Nice. So it's not like this. It's $options and then I. Right? Correct? Hopefully. Check out the browser once. Yes. So in options, I'm pressing I, which is, I'm saying that case should be insensitive. So now, if you check it, here we go. Chicken curry, butter chicken. So now if someone only passes chick or chicken or something like that, it will still work. Is that clear, guys? So now we have a proper endpoint, which you pass name. Even if you make a spelling mistake or you type half the name, okay, it will check, okay, from the food collection, find the food whose names matches the expression. That's why regex. If you pass name equal to this name, it will check for equality. I'm simply saying name matches the expression, whatever I'm getting in URL. Paneer, pan, pan, pa, whatever it is. And options I, that means ignore the case. No matter, case doesn't matter in this case. And that's it. And guys, one more thing. Sometimes, whatever you're searching will not be there. So in that case, you will get null. Okay. So for that, okay, let's see what do you get. Like, do you get null or something else? Null or a blank array. So console.log, like if you pass something which is not there, we need to check before doing the error handling. So let's pass something that is not there. Like, ha ha ha. I hope it is not there. So send. Here we go. It's not there. Nice. So what are we getting in console, guys? Yeah, blank array. So yeah, good. That's why we checked, because it's not null. So if foods dot length is not equal to 0, that means you got something. So in that case, send the food. Else a response with status 404, food item not found. Food item not found. And that's it, guys. 60% or 70% of your API is now completed. Sir, how can we create without seeing the code? Practice, Akhilesh, only practice. There was a point where I was also not able to do this code directly. But I have created APIs like this around 50, 60 times. So I have done that much practice and I'm still doing it. I do it on a regular basis. I create APIs multiple times. I teach APIs multiple times. That's why I have a habit. Coding, see, you will get concepts after learning the skills, after learning all the things. After learning all the things, your mind will get the concept. But coding fast and coding correctly every time, that will always require continuous practice. Like if I stop Node.js today and I don't practice it for 1 year, after 1 year, I might remember the concepts, but I'll forget some functionalities, some function names, some ways of coding. Then I have to again practice. So continuous practice is the only thing which will make you amazing at coding. You might understand concepts at once and you will never forget them, hopefully. But to get the idea of coding fast and coding correctly every time, you need continuous practice. And definitely at the starting stages. At some point you might leave it. Once you become an expert, you might leave it and you'll get the idea of coding. But at the initial stages, the more you practice, the more you get the skills. Practice is the only thing I can suggest you guys to do. So guys, now, what's the extension called for testing inside VSC? It's Thunder Client. So if you just go on the extension and search for Thunder Client, you'll get this one. Thunder Client. That's it. Once you install it, this icon will be available. You can open it and just create request from here. So guys, everyone, please tell me, are we cleared with this API? So now, see, we have total 4 endpoints as of now. We have a register endpoint, which we created yesterday. We created again today. So it's easy, where we did password hashing and all that stuff. Then we have a login endpoint, where user sends username password. Then we simply go ahead, generate a token. Then we have created a verify token, a middleware, which takes the request, checks for the header, checks for the token, and then goes next. Lets you go to the next endpoint, otherwise blocks you. Then you have a foods endpoint, where if you send a request, first verify token will happen, and only if it is verified, then you fetch all the foods and send it back. Correct? And then there is a food based on name, okay, where you again verify token, and if token is fine, then you find that food based on the pattern, not the exact match, but pattern. You check if name of that food is matching anyhow with the name I'm passing. So regex, and ignore the case sensitivity, and if there is some food you found, send it, otherwise not found. So guys, are we cleared, everyone, with this thing? What is the next bootcamp? Next bootcamp is going to be React, Asega. So guys, again, half of this project is remaining. That we'll be doing on Monday, and guys, on Monday it will be 9 PM. Okay. So be ready for that. We only require 1 hour more. So on Monday, guys, it will be 9 PM. So again, do your work. Please complete. See, guys, we are going to be completing this project on Monday, 9 PM. First thing. Please take this Sunday, and Monday is half day, to complete this whole project. I'm going to be uploading this whole code on GitHub. Please refer this and code your own things. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, got the idea? Okay. And the next bootcamp, Asega, is going to be React. And guys, once I finish React, then it's Flutter. And after Flutter, I'm planning for a complete Python full stack course, which will be having Python stack. Here we did using JavaScript. Then it will be complete Python stack. Python, Django, API development, and all that stuff. Okay. So guys, hopefully you have understood everything that we have done today, and hopefully you enjoyed, guys. Please tell me that, guys. Did you enjoy the whole thing so far? So today basically was the second last day of our course. Now last day is going to be when? On Monday, 9 PM sharp. So guys, are you guys enjoying the course so far? Yes, Angular will be there, Gagan, don't worry. Python, as I said, it will be there, but I'm actually planning between Flutter and Angular. So I might switch Flutter to Angular first. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed the course so far. Now there is only 1 day remaining when we will be doing, the half of this project, where we'll be doing food tracking. So guys, please don't miss that part. Till now, we have done all the fundamentals of this API. The main part was food tracking. So I'll be teaching you how to create relationship between collections, how to track food, and how to fetch food for a particular day. Like what I ate today, what I ate yesterday. We'll be fetching that as well. We'll be calculating the number of calories we have eaten, number of amount of protein we have eaten. So half of this project is still remaining. So guys, please also tell your friends and everyone to join on Monday 9 p.m. as well. And don't worry, Akhilesh, for DSA, I think we might only need 4 or 5 days. So I'll be planning that in between. It's in my mind. So we'll be planning that. You're such an amazing teacher. Thank you so much, Komalpreet. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, Rajput. Okay, Suraj. Understood, buddy. Your current track is PHP HTML CSS. Nice, nice. PHP is also nice. Yeah, nice. So guys, on Monday, we'll be completing this session by creating the other half of the project, which is very important, which is tracking of the food. So please don't miss it. And guys, if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll be seeing you on Monday, 9 p.m. So be ready for that as well. Okay, guys, everyone. So that's all from today. This code will be available on GitHub after 10 minutes. So please take it and use it. Okay, so that's all, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. I'll be seeing you all on Monday, 9 p.m. Okay, good night. Happy Sunday. See you all on Monday, 9 p.m. Good night, guys. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.